Hello out there, we're on the air. It's curling night tonight from the Lake Tahoe Epic Curling Club as we are bringing you the latest draw from the MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns. We have a 10-team field, and this contest features Team Frey of Wine Country taking on Team Hernandez of Hollywood Curling. Two blue bloods of the arena curling realm here in our region, and it should be an interesting contest to say the least. Starting before this game even started, before the game, we have a draw shot challenge. Pardon me. We have a draw shot to see which team will get closer to the button, and both teams apparently hit the pin. And if they hit the pin, we have to triangulate to see how far over the rock is over the pin. And it was pretty exciting. And we had to double check the rules for how to triangulate stones in this measurement. But each team throws 2 rocks, so I think partly based on how the other non-pin shots went led to Team Frey snagging the hammer here in this first end. Lots of rocks to play early in this game. And looks like Team Frey is playing with the blue rocks, and Hernandez has the red. There's 2 sheets in action every draw here. And so the sheet 2 game, or the sheet B game, is Team Chen of Orange County Curling taking on Team Stephanie of Wine Country. We'll get more into the format of this event as the game progresses. But sit back and enjoy. I'm glad you're with us. Hopefully have a smooth landing to conclude our opening quintuple header of coverage here at Lake Tahoe Epic Curling. So it looks like we are close to the end of second rocks.
Yeah, because that's the thing too, is based on his shot, they're swapping around this one. We're all like moving air. Yeah.
Trying to find bios for Team Hernandez. Does kick out the Frey stone, leaving 1 Frey stone as shot rock. Okay, so I am not seeing Hernandez bio, so this could be interesting tonight. That was a good draw there by Team Frey. They're sitting 2. It's pretty open though, so Hernandez could take it on. Just open up the center of the house. Hopefully put one of their reds there. As Paul Mendoza gets sets. As we are to third stones. Looking for some heats. Let's see if the rock is going to come back. It's going to be maybe a kiss. No, just it flashes. This could be something that that one of the online commenters noted in the last game, where the center could be running a little high, and that would mean that rocks would curl away from the center, and it would be harder for rocks to curl towards the center. So looking for a draw from the third for Team Frey, and tonight that's going to be Ryan Fox, who's been curling for 7 years.
As you're talking to him?
Looks pretty good. It finishes okay. I think it curled okay towards the center there. And now Frey is sitting 3. And we got Paul's second stone. Looking to again blow up that pile of Frey blue stones in the house. It's curling okay. Maybe there's a shelf or there's something there. Gets one of the reds out, jostles the blues around, and so now it appears the Frey is now down to just a single rock, as there is a red Hernandez stone that outcounts the other blues. So it looks like they might be trying to chip out the red and sit 3 or 4 again. As Fox gets set for a second rock.
There's a cord in the backpack. Terry was here today.
It's hanging out. I don't know if it's going to come back. Okay, it does clip the red. The shooter rolls out. The red that got clipped jammed on a blue and rolled back towards the right. And so now it appears that Hernandez might be shot. Hernandez does appear to be shot from this overhead.
It's all making a thing of Taylor Swift, gotta be a Matt. He's moving things around. It's all the good parts.
So this is a situation where Hernandez was really kind of in a bit of a jam, but they were able to get themselves out. And now I think the call is going to be to do a takeout, wait, hit the blues further back to the house, and just create more space for their Hernandez reds. As David Hernandez throws his first without the hammer. Paul is saying no to the sweepers. Needs to curl like another half rock. And it does get one of the blues out. Pushes the other blue further back, and so it does appear that Team Hernandez is sitting 2, maybe 3. There's a red in the top 8-foot white circle that you can see there.
Yeah, but they need to do all of them.
That looked closer on the overhead in the warm room. Hard to say. As Team Frey, the skip, Mike Frey, is about to throw his first. He's been curling for 7 years. His nickname is Up Weights. And Frey, his name is pronounced like his favorite vegetable. So I think looking to throw up weights, just as befitting his name. Needs to curl back a little bit. Looks pretty good. And it does get rid of the blue, gets rid of one of the reds. And it helps the situation a bit, but Hernandez can kind of pluck out that blue, and then Frey's just going to be forced to a single point here in this first end. As the broom is down for that takeout. There's a risk to that blue jamming. So it looks like the jam could happen. It did jam, but then the blue rolls out of the house. And that does work really in Hernandez's favor. With Hernandez sitting 2, Frey is going to be forced to draw. So looking for a draw. Let's see if Upweight Frey can throw a draw. Most skips at a competitive event such as this usually have draw weight in their back pocket. And let's see if Mike has it. Sweepers are trying to carry it. It needs to essentially bite the 4-foot ring. It looks like it could be there. It can't jam. Oh, and it pulls up light. So that's going to be a steal of 2 for Team Hernandez to open up the scoring. It's a steal. Frey will carry the hammer to the second end. And that's where we'll join them in just a moment as our coverage continues from the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns, coming to you live from Lake Tahoe Epic Curling. And tonight's event is being presented by DoubleTakeout.com. Throughout the competitive curling season, proprietor Ken Pomeroy offers statistics and insights about the top competitive teams in the men's and women's mixed doubles fields. Those are 3 fields: men's, women's, and mixed doubles. Throughout the season, he updates the rankings, and you can see how your favorite team from around the world stacks up. That's all at DoubleTakeout.com. The first rock is away for Team Hernandez. Oh, I see their bios now. They're right above Team Frey. That was a test of my reading comprehension, and I did not do well. As the first rock for Hernandez, that's thrown by lead Ken Detloff, goes through the house. Trying to allow Team Frey to throw up, I believe, a corner guard. And Sean Johnson is throwing lead tonight. He throws vice a lot of times, but is now lead tonight. And he was a participant at the MoPac Arena Playdowns last year as lead. Also, the B event runner-up at the MoPac 5 and Under in 2022. Also finished in 4th place at the Barrel Bonspiel in 22. So as Ken throws his second rock, he has competed in men's playdowns. Was also at the House of Hearts, a fundraiser charity spiel in Duluth, Minnesota. He's been there 2 times and counting. Manages to clear that rock that was in the house. Sticks around as a guard. The House of Hearts is it's a pretty big fundraiser, and it's also a hugely fun event from everything I've heard. People that like to indulge in beverages get to indulge in beverages. And just fun was had by all. Ooh, a bit of a wobble there from Sean, a.k.a. Big Hitter Johnson. He looks like he recovered, as this rock is going to turn into, I imagine, a corner guard. As the sweeper jumps on the stone. Trying to get as close to the house as possible, and turns out to be like a 2 guard in the middle third of the guard zone. As Tim Mendoza is throwing his first. Been curling for 16 years. Been to club nationals, mixed nationals, and a lot of regional playdowns for the championships above. And that turns out to be a center guard. And that is the 5th rock to the end. So the free guard zone rule and the no-tick rule are no longer in effect. Any rock in the field of play is fair game. As Bob Kunstl gets set. A little bit of a wobble from him. And again, what we're looking for, just in terms of good curling delivery, are alignment towards the target, balance of your body, and C, curl, the rotation and release that you put on the stone. It's A, B, C. It's just as easy as that. And this rock from Bob is a draw to the top 4, exposed. So it looks like Hernandez is starting to ask Paul to just, Tim to hit it out. It's always Tim. Looking for a hit, and I would hope a little bit of a roll. A hit and not going to be much of a roll. About a 3/4 of a stone of a roll. So Bob is getting set for his second stone. If Bob, you betcha, Kunstl's name and good looks seem familiar to you, You probably recognize him from his days as a child actor. Most notably, he had a recurring role on the Andy Griffith Show as Barney Five's nephew. And he even did a short stint as the center square on Hollywood Squares. I'm going to need to do some more research on that. But who wouldn't want to be center square? It looks like he was able to make the hits, but does stay pretty exposed. So this is now Paul Mendoza's first rock. And Paul has also been to Club Nationals, Mixed Nationals, Arena Nationals twice. Was also at the Pacific International Cup, which was a really fun cross-border bonspiel with clubs in Vancouver, British Columbia. And he's also been to lots of regional playdowns for those events. This is hanging out. I think they were hoping it was going to come back, and I don't know if it did. It does kiss the Frey blue, pushes it into coverage, into protection. And it looks like the third for Team Frey, again, it's Ryan Fox. He's going to be asked to draw around that center guard. Ryan Country Breakfast Fox has been a partly active, semi-competitive, lethargically enthusiastic, somewhat energetic member of Wine Country for 7 years. This is like that game, Two Truths and a Lie, except for I'm going to guess most of those are exaggerations, most of those claims. Such as Ryan being the current Guinness World Record holder for hopping on 1 foot. He got the idea after stubbing his toe at a bar in college and had to hop his way home. Which, again, I might need to do more research. So it looks like that draw was successful into the house. It looks like it is partly covered by the center guard. And so it looks like Hernandez wants to attack it from the other side. As Paul took off his jacket, and it took me a second to recognize who it was. The Mendoza brothers, I normally see them in their Hollywood jackets, so it threw me off for a second. Looking for the possible double. Gonna get 1. Is there 2 in the mix? No. So that shooter does roll under the center guard. So it looks like Frey wants to draw on top of that red and maybe set up a possible deuce situation where he's able to score 2 or more. As we see Ryan throws last, I believe. And not able to see where the rocks ended up. Okay, now I can see them. And it does appear to be, it kind of curled a little too deep and didn't curl enough. So David Hernandez is making his way down the ice. I adjusted these cameras before the start of this game. It's just when they walk on the boards, it jiggles them a little bit, and the camera adjusts and shifts over. So I think we get the gist though as David Hernandez gets sets. A, B, C. Looking pretty good. Got all three. I think just looking to get rid of the one Frey blue, maybe get two. Gets one, and the other Frey blue sticks around. So we're now to the skipstones for Frey. So they're looking at maybe trying to do a double, or maybe hitting and rolling towards the red on the left. The situation there, though, is that it could jam the right red on the blue and really, really take away the advantage that Frey has been building for this end.
Take it up a notch. That doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, Patricia and Ashley are like, wait, I got you.
So Mike started curling in 2017 when he attempted to go ice fishing at the local standing range. Again, I might need to double check this information. To prevent him from drilling another hole in the ice, the curlers gave him a quick lesson while they waited for law enforcement to arrive. And then, while locked up, Mike found a VHS copy of the historical documentary Men with Brooms. And to this day, he claims Leslie Nielsen is his favorite curler and credits him with teaching him everything he knows about the sport. I might believe that.
Ryan, what do you think?
The warm room is having a great time tonight. I can sort of make out what they're talking about, but I don't quite understand the thread of the conversation. But you can definitely hear the laughter. It's one of the great sounds of the sports. Curlers and their friends having a good time in the warm room. So they took a minute to figure out their shot as David Hernandez makes his way down the ice. David's been to the 5 and Under Nationals, Arena Playdowns, Club Playdowns, Mixed Playdowns, and the Mixed Doubles event that MoPac holds, which technically is not a Playdown. It's not a Playdown at all. So. And this is David's last here without the hammer. Looking to move some rocks around for Team Frey, looking to cut down Frey's advantage. This is going to be, I think, a good outcome. Actually hit the reds further back. And so now it looks like, looking at the overhead, looks like Hernandez is sitting 2. And there's one Frey blue in the back forefoot just kind of hanging on. So now I think Frey's in a situation where he's going to be forced. So based on where the broom is positioned, I think Frey is going to try to hit the blue back onto the red and then hopefully have the blue roll towards the center. Not looking for a lot of weight, asking for backline weight. With Fox holding the broom for his skip. Facing 2, this is Mike Frey's last. Looks like it could be a little wide. needs to come back. I don't know if it's going to come back. It's not going to come back. They're trying really hard. It just stayed too wide. And that is going to be a steal at 2, I believe, for Team Hernandez. But we'll wait till they make it official. So Frey will carry the hammer into the net stand. And we're going to pause for just a second, and we'll be right back with the third end of the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns, coming to you live from Lake Tahoe Epic Curling. All right, we're back. Just took a moment to find out what the warm room was talking about, and you guys don't need to know. So Rocks in play. Let's see if I can get a look at the scoreboard in a second. That was a steal at 2 for Hernandez. So they are up 4-0 over Frey in this third end of a possible 8 ends. Teams can choose to resign early if they feel the game is out of hand. So, yeah. So Roxton, as Rocks continue to be in play, I'm going to bring in a member of Team Pomeroy. So, 1 second.
There's a button right there. That's the mute.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, there. Sweet. All right, this is Ryan Tanner.
Nice to meet you, or nice to be here, I guess. Ryan Olson and Ryan Tanner.
Yes,
I love
two
it so
Ryans.
much.
It's not to be confusing at all. So maybe try to tell us about your experience so far at this event.
It's been a very new experience to me. I've enjoyed it a lot. The timing is one thing that I'm definitely gonna have to get used to. I've not been used to the timing, but I've been having a great time. I love where we are right now, Tahoe. It's very beautiful, and yeah, it's been a fun event.
Have you been to many bonspiels? I think your father's been to his share of events, and just like the two. You guys have only been curling for 2 or 3 years, right?
Yeah. So I've been to one other bonspiel outside of the Hive at the Olympic Oval. I went to the Grand Tetons bonspiel.
Okay.
And that was also a really fun event. It was very cold, but
is that dedicated ice or is that arena?
It's arena ice.
Okay.
And it was not only arena ice, it was outside. Like half of the building was missing. So
that's up near Jackson, right? Jackson Hole.
Yeah, right next to Jackson Hole. It was a lot of fun. It was very cold. We got close to going to the playoffs, but it came down to the very last stone.
It's kind of good competitively that it does, but also if you're on the wrong end of that, it's kind of tough, right?
Yeah, it can be tough. But I've loved being out here. We drove out here yesterday and got to just sort of know the area a little bit, and I love it so much.
Tahoe is a very beautiful place.
It is.
And let's just kind of look at the action real quick, just to kind of see the situation. It looks like Hernandez has kept his foot on the gas. Frey in the first end had something cooking, and then Hernandez is able to kind of get out of the jam and steal 2, and then Hernandez also was able to steal 2 in the second end. And here we are in the third end. It looks like Hernandez is again keeping his foot on the gas.
Just not letting up there.
No, as Hernandez is sitting 3. And one thing I like to ask guests, people who join me on the broadcast, is kind of what they're seeing, and maybe also kind of share their experience on the ice, because I haven't been able to play on this ice in the past month or so.
Well, I will say it does feel appropriate right now for arena playdowns. We had that sheet in particular that we just came off of. It was a little rough. There was a side that wouldn't curl as much, and then there was a side that would over curl. And so you kind of have to play with that and see how that can benefit you and how that can hurt you. So I'm sure they're probably experiencing the same thing right now.
Yeah. What about the speed? I mean, that's kind of one of the big differences between arena ice and dedicated ice, is the speed of how the rocks travel down the ice.
Speed has thrown me off personally a whole lot, because I'm so used to it dying down, and I'll be following a stone and I'll be like, I gotta sweep that, but then it'll carry much further than I expect it to. And it's the same for throwing. I'm actually throwing a lot lighter than I normally do because it carries a lot more.
That's a good point. And you're playing lead for this event, right?
Yes. Yes, I am lead for my team, which I love. And at the same time, lead can be some of the most important shots, and so I got to make sure I do my job.
It's really important. Also, I think one thing I've experienced just watching these events is that at a competitive event, you can't really make mistakes, because the other team is going to probably take advantage of it. And you don't necessarily run into that at arena ice, because you're playing against a much wider array of experience. You have kind of the teams that only have 1 week of learner curl under their belt versus people that have been around for 10 years or so. But here, either they're experienced or they're relatively new, but they got a lot of practice in and stuff. And so, have you kind of seen that so far this weekend?
Yeah, I have. Especially in our first game, you could. I'm blanking on the team name now, but I definitely saw their experience, and it was just a 3-person team, but they came out ready to play and did super well. I was sitting there trying to still figure out strategy while they've got everything dialed in and locked down.
That would be Spangler.
Spangler, that's right, thank you.
Yep.
Yes, Spangler. Spangler gave us a spanking this morning. That's for sure.
And and also I was talking during the game, like Ken would come back and kind of give you guys kind of high fives or fist bumps, I guess. What did you feel for about that, or what did you take away from that?
It's a really good team building technique. I think it gets us into just more comfortable with each other and more closer. Like he loves doing the high fives and the fist bumps, and it also helps me keep me focused because sometimes I'll get distracted, but he'll come down the sheet and that's when I lock in. I'm like, all right, he's gonna throw.
Okay. And I guess what I've been curling for about 8 years, and I really value the importance of communication and making sure everyone's on the same page. In your experience, what has that been like?
Personally, communication's rough. I need to get better at it. But communication, it definitely helps. Watching the other teams on the ice, they communicate so well, and it really helps the outcome of what they want. Because when you're talking back and forth, it helps gives the skip an idea of what is coming down. It helps gives the sweeper an idea, like it can connect the sweeper. Even if they're yelling it, they'll think more about it, and that'll be very good for them. So that is something I'm personally going to try to work on tomorrow, is communication with my skip and the stone, or in between the skip and stone, and how that's moving.
That last rock from Ryan Fox for Team Frey was a really good hit and roll. There was a red right to the right of the center line, and he was able to hit it and roll kind of across the 8 foot to be behind cover, and looks to be sitting shot rock. It does. So just kind of looking at the situation right now, looks like Hernandez does have. Well, Frey has shot stone, but Hernandez has 2 stones that are just outside of that. If you're Team Frey, what are you thinking he should do? And if you're Team Hernandez, what do you think they should do?
This is a tough one. Honestly, if I'm Team Frey or Hernandez, I think I would want to do a run back on that red that's up there right now. Maybe try to keep it guarded up while also having a red further back and closer to the house, sitting shot. Yeah.
So it looks like he's looking to run that red back onto the blue, looking to pop out that Frey shot stone. All right, let me show you what it looks like. He came at it from the other side.
And they're gonna.
Wow. Mission accomplished. The shooter was lost. And I think it maybe jammed on the red in the back. So not quite exactly what they were hoping for.
Not exactly what you want, but I think it could open up a good possibility for them. Unless, was that their last stone?
No, that was
Hernandez's
first.
Okay, that was his first. All right.
So
this
is a situation where the end is now, I think, changing towards Frey, because right now Frey is sitting first and third, but that second shot, that Hernandez red just to the left of Fox, is exposed. And so if Frey is able to pick that out and stick around, they could be sitting 3.
Yeah.
With 1 rock to go. So this is Mike Frey's first. Lots of bodies in the way. Try to find the best view.
Some rapid sweeping to get the stone where it needs to be.
Does pop the red.
And they nosed that perfectly.
Yes. There was a possible jam, but he was able to miss it. And so now Frey's sitting 3. However, that shot stone on the back 8 foot is open.
Yeah.
And so, my first inclination is to try to draw down to it. I think the port is big enough.
Yeah, the draw is a good look. I also, and again, I'm not a skip. I've been playing for 2 years, but I like a freeze back to that blue stone right there. Yeah. Maybe hold them to 1.
So based on where he's holding the broom, though, is not set up for a draw. Looks like they're set up for a takeout, which could also work, especially if they hit and roll.
Yeah, a hit and roll would be also ideal here.
There's also, you kind of got to know which shot your player feels most comfortable with. And looks like they're going to do a hit. Let's see if there's going to be a roll. I think I'm going to switch to the other camera again. Let's see here. Got a hit, and we're going to see a roll.
There's a roll, not exactly what you're hoping for in that situation.
It did get rid of one of the blue counters.
Yes.
And so, and also it's challenging Frey to get that red out. But if he makes the shot, and Mike's nickname is Upweight, according to his bio, the bio that he provided me. So asking for an upweight shot. Then hopefully this is going to be in Mike's wheelhouse. So as you've been playing this game for 2 years, especially at a boss spiel, what's kind of like the emotional highs and lows as you go through these games?
The emotional highs and lows. I think the highs and lows can go like close together. Such as this last game we played. It was a close battle, and it came down to the very last shot, and I was kind of at a low. I was like, all right, well, it's wide open. They're going to make the one, and that's going to be game. And then when they miss, that's a personal high as well. Like the closeness of the game.
Yeah. And I'm sorry I asked that such an open question because Mike Frey was able to make that shot. Well done for Mike Frey, scoring 3.
So that brings them back into this game.
Yeah, they're trailing 4-3 now, and Hernandez will have the hammer for the first time in the 4th end coming up in just a moment. Normally I take a pause because it's just me, but if you want to keep chatting, that's great. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I would love to
talk about the highs and lows, but also like sometimes like you see a situation where it's like, how are we going to get out of this? Like, what's kind of your reaction in those situations?
I don't know. My thought process, like, we had, I think, I can't remember, there was one end, though, where we had a situation where they were sitting, there were a bunch of guards. Mm-hmm. And my first thoughts was to just probably blow it up. Like, my idea is if things aren't looking good and it's super hard to draw and it's super hard to like tap or run or hit and roll, just blow things up. Like try to open something up and see if that'll work. But if it's open, like the last end was for us, my thought process was just guard. Like we got to guard and just hope that they miss a takeout, which they didn't. They played everything to perfection and did everything super well. It was really unfortunate that last shot was just short of what they wanted.
Yeah. It was tied too. So you and Team Pomeroy had to steal that.
Yeah,
last
we had
end.
to steal that last end, and that's why I was like so low, like ready for them to draw in because it was wide open. We were tied. All they had to do was get the draw, and they would have won. And unfortunately, they just couldn't pull it out.
Yeah. This is Ken Detloff throwing the first lead stone for Team Hernandez. And so also, I just would like to point out you're one of the younger curlers in this event.
I am, yes. Yeah, I don't think I see anybody in my age range here. It's been hard. I've wanted to do I can't anymore. I'm 19 now, but I wanted to do an 18 and under for the longest time. But I couldn't find a team because we don't really have a lot of youth curlers nearby
in Utah.
In Utah. And I went to the curling camp down in Arizona by the U.S. Junior Curling Association. And that was fun and that was exciting and it got me hopeful again. But I think closeness really helps with that. It's like having people who are close to you and being able to work with them at least once a week is super helpful.
That curl is pretty nice, but not enough to get under cover there. That was the second Frey stone from lead Sean Johnson. So, also like being relatively young, I guess a lot of people come into the sport a little later. I think once they kind of realize they're not going to be a football star or a baseball star, it's like they're going to do curling a shot. How did you come into the sport?
Well, it's a long series of events. It started with the Olympics in 2018, and they won't admit this, but it started as a joke between my aunt and my dad, where they started watching it. But that year, the men's team won gold, and so they then decided to try some learn to curls. And then pretty soon they brought me a couple to a couple learn to curls, and we started doing Learners League, and I just sort of stuck with it. I never left, and then we're here now, like part of the game and knowing everything. It's fun to know all this stuff. I love being able to say I am a curler because you can't find a lot of people like me, at least in our area.
Yeah. So it looks like we have the first Frey stone coming for second Bob Kunstel. And you're also doing this with your dad a lot. I mean, like you said, your family is involved, but like you're here with your dad at this event. What's that been like?
It's been good. This was actually sort of a last-minute decision. We weren't planning on doing this, but then Ken asked my dad if me and Tim would be willing to do it, and we were like, I guess, like, why not? This isn't the first time that we've traveled together and curled. We were fortunate enough to curl in Australia, which was a whole lot of fun. And it comes with a lot of backs and forths, like your family, so sometimes there's going to be some disagreements, but at the same time, it's also nice to have family around. It's like being able to rely on that person
This is over curling.
super helpful.
Yeah. It does clear one of the guards. Yeah, so, and then also just I don't know, it's kind of interesting because sometimes when you're growing up, and I grew up a while ago, like sometimes you kind of wonder what you might have in common with your family and stuff, you know, or it's like they might not just, they don't necessarily get where you're coming from sometimes, and like, does this kind of open up other avenues where it's like, okay, there are certain areas that we do kind of get along and stuff?
Yeah, it does actually. We have grown a lot closer because of curling. It's nice to be able to like have a conversation, and it's super nice because it brings us closer, but we also we can talk about it and like understand each other. I've seen a couple of situations with people that I know where they just don't know how to talk to their kids, or like don't know what their kids enjoy, and so being able to just have just a few things to talk about with them, I think is really good, and so it's brought us closer.
But I guess also sometimes, again, looking at the adult-child relationship, parent-child relationship, and like I'm not a psychiatrist, but also like, you know, I think maybe there might be something unique because you're approaching this like a sport or a skill where neither person has like a history of knowledge. You guys are kind of learning it together to a certain extent.
Yeah, we're coming in this together. We're finding out a lot of different things at the same time. It's nice because like I can come to my parents with new information about curling that they had no idea about, and the same thing is the same way with me, instead of like having one of us just know everything and trying to teach the other one.
Yeah. So this end, there were a lot of rocks in play, kind of getting to be a bit of a junky house, and with some successful takeouts by both teams. There's just one Frey rock on the right. Tim Mendoza had a couple takeouts, not quite hitting the blue stone that was the goal. And looks like we have this is Ryan Fox playing third for Team Frey, and looks like. Bob is jumping on to sweep it. They're trying to split the rings, it looks like.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks like they're going for a split in the house.
They don't have the hammer. Hernandez does. So this is going to, I think, just kind of help make it harder for Hernandez to get rid of all the blue stones.
Yeah, that's definitely how you want to play it. If you're Hernandez, what would your next shot be here?
Well, I like where he has the broom. They're looking to take out the shot stone. I think they might be looking for a bit of a roll under the blue stone to the right, as Paul gets set here. I mean, I notice it's okay. You know, at this level of event, I mean, I think they're kind of banking on a miss to maybe try to generate something.
Yeah.
It can be hard to get that delivered. This, though, seems to be on the money. It's going to hit and roll slightly.
And I think this was one of those situations where it just doesn't curl as much as you want it to.
Yeah.
Like you try to put the broom where you want it, but it just doesn't get that curl to it.
Lots of laughter in the warm room.
And something's being telecast, so you need to clean up your conversations.
And there.
So this is
Decent slide out.
Ryan's last for this end. I think looking to hit, and I think trying to roll the other way if they can. And this does just a nose hit. So
Looks like they're trading back and forth a little bit.
And so if this were to continue, Hernandez would be forced to draw for one, really. Looks like they're going to try a thin cross-house double, not entirely across the house, but looks like it's there. But of course, I like to say that the double's always there.
It would be a difficult shot, but they can do it.
Yeah. I just also, if you're behind the glass, not playing the game, of course, any shot's possible, right?
Yeah, that's something I've definitely noticed as I've grown to play the sport. Like I can watch on TV and be like, well, you should have made that decision or done that. But when you're in the moment, in the game, it's not as simple.
Yeah. So it's going to be another close to nose hit. It's going to roll wide to the left. So trading the hits back and forth, and if you are a pretty solid competitive team, you can trade hits back and forth. But at this level, I think at some point there might be a mistake, a flash. I think I've seen more than a handful of flashes so far in this event. As you mentioned, it's just trying to get a good read for the ice. As you said, sometimes it stays straighter down a certain path and over curls on the other path. That reminds me, like Ken's in the room, so if he wants to, he's timing the game. But there is one shot where the broom it would look like it was for a takeout, and this I think was in the 7th end, and looking for a takeout, but it looks like it started falling or diving towards. I guess it would be towards your right as you're heading down the ice.
Oh yeah.
And did that pick or did that what happened there?
We assume it picked because was it a stone that I threw?
No, I thought it was Ken.
Oh yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah. It's weird because sometimes on release, like we've had this happen a couple times where on release it'll just start curling. Like I've never seen it curl so quickly, and then sometimes it'll just stay straight forever and ever until finally you get a tiny bit of curl. But I think he was calling. I don't think it was a takeout. I actually don't think we've called any takeouts so far. But he was calling for, I would assume, a draw round or a freeze, and it just picked and like. I
thought he was looking for like a hit and roll or something.
Or maybe that.
But I've seen so much curling today. It all starts to run together after a while. As David Hernandez is delivering his first with the hammer, I think looking to make the double, but I don't think he's going to. I think he's just going to nose hit the blue again. And it does hit the top blue, and let's see where the red ended up. And it was a nose hit.
Yeah, it just sticks right on top of the house right there.
So this is Mike Frey's last. And what would you do in this situation? They're sitting shot.
Honestly, in this situation, I would probably try to draw rounds. Maybe just get above just above the 4 foot and sit right under that red. And well, I don't know, because you want to make it difficult for them to even score 1 point at this point. So, but I guess if you draw around, stick right right above the 4 foot, you take that run back option out, or not out, but it's a lot more risky to pull.
But at the same time, all you have to do is just pop that red back, and you're scoring 1.
That's true, yeah.
And so and I was thinking you could maybe draw to the left, and then kind of reduce the scoring area.
Oh well, yeah, that could work too. Because if you draw to the left, then you split the house, and it makes it much more difficult to try to, or for them to score 2.
Yeah. Well, and this shot here is geared to make sure that they can only score one, because if you successfully hit this red shot out, they can only score one, and so that's a pretty common tactic. And it looks like it is going to hit pretty close to the nose.
Yeah, that'll nose it.
And looking at the overhead, seems to be like nibbling the top of the house. So it looks like Frey is sitting 2. And it looks like Hernandez has a draw or a hit and roll, and they're setting up for the hit and roll for a single point to retake a 2-point lead over Team Frey. So I think, is your aunt who's traveling this weekend?
Yeah, she is traveling this weekend. She's going to Oregon.
Okay.
Lots of traveling recently.
Well, she posted on YouTube that she's been listening while driving. So not watching.
Yeah, listening while driving.
To make the point that she was listening. But it's fascinating that the people that we have tuning in, and definitely appreciate those that do.
I love it. My grandma and my great-grandmother were in the car with her, and she was trying to help them understand what was going on in the game. And so yeah, we've sort of roped our other family members into it as well, as they will push that stone coaster.
And that was the last rock, so it looks to be a steal at 2.
Yeah, steal at 2, and so with that, Frey goes up.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd see that coming. Like going up 4-0 in the first 2 ends, like you're looking pretty good, and now you're down by 1. So after the halftime break, how do you come out of that?
These games can turn on a dime, and also it really relies on you being able to make your shots. And unfortunately, that was just a miss there. So
yeah.
So Team Frey takes a 1-point lead. It is 5-4, Frey over Hernandez. We're going to take a brief pause in the action, and we'll be right back with the second half of tonight's nightcap, MoPac After Dark, being joined by Ryan Tanner. And hopefully he'll be back when we return.
Absolutely, I'll be back.
And you're tuned to the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns, coming to you live from Lake Tahoe Epic Curling. Welcome back to the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns, brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. Joined again by Ryan Tanner of Team Pomeroy. Welcome back.
We have just come off of an end where, apologies, Frey stole 2.
Frey,
sorry.
That's good, yeah.
And so Hernandez will have the hammer again in this end. And what do you think is going through their mind right now after coming off of the break?
Well, I think it's a 1-point game, so it's very close. I think you just kind of play the game you've been playing, because Hernandez has been able to generate opportunities. It's just kind of it got away from him in that last end, where he. I'm trying to remember how they gave up 2. I think he basically just needed to hit and stick for 1, and he actually hit on the wrong side of the rock and it rolled away, and then the hit blue actually moved closer to the center of the house. So, I mean, obviously that's just a bit of a goof. Just kind of focus on making your shots and, keep trying to create opportunities.
Yeah. As we have another empty house, and the second rock is being thrown for the lead.
And that's Sean Johnson again for Team Frey, hailing from Wine Country Curling. And this looks to be going toward the center of the reins. Seen some stutter. Apologies about that.
Very, very heavy sweeping. I want to get that as close as possible.
And that actually ended up as a corner guard. And I guess one thing about going from arena ice to this ice is that the rocks do curl somewhat both ways.
Yeah.
And how would you compare that experience from what you see at the Oval, which is not like this?
It's definitely a what's the word? A shock. Mm-hmm. Like there's a little bit of getting used to it. I know I had some jitters definitely before I got on the ice, just because I had no idea what the ice would do or how it would feel. But it's nice. It's good ice. I like it. It's going to suck having to go back home and play on the arena ice again, but I'll take what I can get for now.
So that rock from Ken Detloff for Hernandez slips into the back of the rings. And as we have bodies in front of the cameras as Bob Kunstel gets set for his shot here. And I think looking to take out that red and sit 1. And then we didn't talk about Frey necessarily, but Frey is also kind of doing the same thing that Hernandez is doing. And that's just trying to generate opportunities and stuff. And they were definitely able to capitalize on that in the last end. And that was a great hit and roll there, too. Able to hit and roll under that corner guard. I guess also you were talking about kind of your release and how sometimes the rocks would maybe curl right out of hand, and sometimes that could be due to the release of like how you let go of the rock, because dedicated ice is less forgiving if there is any sort of imperfection or kind of imprecision in your release.
Yes, and that is something that playing on arena ice definitely doesn't help with, because arena ice is so forgiving that you can sort of get into habits of certain things, and so when you get onto dedicated ice, it doesn't translate well at all. So they just replaced the guard, it looks like. Mm-hmm. Probably not what they wanted.
Well, I mean, looking to maybe take control of the front of the house. That's always an approach to take with curling.
Learning lots of stuff tonight.
And this is Bob's next rock. Yeah, so if you have control of the front of the house, you would be able to then maybe hit your red rock back in the house later if it needs to be. So, I mean, so that it can be effective, but also sometimes there's so much junk in the house you can't raise a red, or you can't raise your rocks, then having control of the house doesn't really do anything. So.
Yeah, I understand that.
And I've been in at least a couple of games where the opposing team puts a rock in play, and then they rock in the house, and they just build a wall in front of the house.
And that's never a fun situation to be in.
Yeah, and if you can't clear rocks, you're in trouble. So it looks like as Team Mendoza is getting ready for a shot, it looks like Hernandez would like to try to double those blues out in the house.
And so, of course, Pops is releasing this is
Not a lot of weight necessarily. I guess that's another thing. Have you noticed that you don't need a lot of weight to make shots?
Yeah, I've definitely relied on that. In fact, I threw one at one point so
bunch.
slowly
Yeah.
that I almost hogged it and wrecked on that guard.
Yeah, but positive outcome is the shooter rolls into the house, the top 8 foot. Good for second shot. Actually, it looks like it could be shot.
Looks like it is shot, yeah. So that could come in handy later, depending on if Frey takes this out or not.
I don't think Frey's going to let it sit around.
Probably not.
As Ryan Fox is getting ready for his delivery.
I know in this situation, I definitely probably want to hit and roll there under those blues.
No, that was after they came back.
Looks like it needs to curl up a little bit more, but not too bad.
They're going to clip just the edge of it, but it's going to roll too much.
Yep. So while we're talking about this game, want to update our viewers about the Sheet B game, which we're keeping track of on bondspieler.com.
And holy cow, I can see from here, it is Chen up 7-3 in the fifth, 7-3 in the fifth end.
That is the situation. As on our feature sheets,
I wish we would have.
looks like so they were able to get rid of the red in the house, and so now Hernandez is going to try to, I think, hit the blue on the right here from this view, maybe roll back towards the center if they're lucky, with Paul Mendoza's first, it appears to be.
And a lot of curl again.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to, it will make contact.
I had to apologize.
And it actually rolls toward the outside.
I had to apologize to our team.
So that is shot.
To the warm room.
So it looks like they're going to make a play on that shot still. And again, hopefully hoping to roll back towards the center, under cover.
Sit under that blue a little bit.
Yep. So all these scores are being posted at bondspieler.com, end by end, and also you can check out a schedule and stats throughout the weekend, including the draw shot challenge that people are throwing every game. 2 players per team each draw, and actually 2 players covered the pin in this draw shot before tonight's game. And they were both on the sheets.
I saw one of those.
Yeah.
And so now Hernandez is just going to get rid of that blue.
Mm-hmm. And we got some Charlie Chaplin going on with the stutter. This equipment gets cold. I tried to warm it up a little bit, but we've been on the ice since 7:30 this morning. And so it's gotten pretty chilly.
It's been a long day. I was part of that first game that ended so early. So, and now I'm here commentating on the very last game of the day.
Well,
Wow.
your team is helping with timing too. That's partly why you're here, right?
That is why I'm here. Yes.
So the hit's made and the roll is wide to the other side, so the rings are effectively split. That was a good shot there by Paul. So what would you think they should do in this situation?
You're on your final 2 stones. The house is split. That's a really tough one. I mean, you at least want to get rid of one. And so I think that's what they're looking to do, but I think they also probably want to roll under that red if it's possible, but that's a rough shot to try to achieve. So you definitely want to take out the 1 in this situation and hope that you can roll under to sit shots.
Well, it's tough too because the other red, you can't roll to the outside. You would have to roll back across the house, I guess.
Yeah, and that's what makes this so difficult.
So this is the first from Skip Frey. It looks like it's over curling. It's
going to crash into that guard.
Yeah, on the guard. It's going to roll into the house. And I would have maybe tried to keep sweeping it to get buried under that red on the right.
Yeah, get it buried under. Well, I don't know, because that's close. If you could do a really good run back if it's under the red. So maybe having it sit right there, it gives them that possibility of also wrecking into their own and throwing that one out.
Now it looks like Hernandez could possibly score 3 here if they're able to pluck out that blue. Actually, they could score 4 if everything goes totally pear-shaped for Team Frey. But definitely setting up for a multiple point score here in this end. Any good comments on the YouTube?
No, not much.
So the hit's made, and then the roll is going to roll across the house, settle in the back 12 foot along the left side, probably about like 8:30 p.m. if we're telling time. And I think they would probably want to try to take on the double here.
Yeah, you want to try to take the double and hope that your shooter stays around. If it doesn't, it's an open 2 for Hernandez.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely looking at those 2 stones right there.
Yeah, and you have to get rid of at least one of these, or else you're giving up 3 or 4. So the broom's down for Mike Frey. Mike says fry is his favorite vegetable. Which, I mean, it's also a fish, right? Because there's fish fry.
There's fish fry. Yeah, I see no wrong here.
My daughter might disagree. But my doctor's cool. I do need to take better care of my health. Although, I mean, health is super important for all athletes, including curlers, even if we don't look like, you know, the people that ran
athlete.
Track and field. So, looking for removing a couple of these stones. Gets rid of one.
And
it jams.
They get the 1. They're sitting shot, it looks like. But that's an easy takeout for Hernandez here.
Although they could also jam if they're not careful.
Yeah.
So looking for the right angle here. I think if it were up to me, I would try to have it hit it on the outside. I mean, it could curl across the face, but you don't want to run the risk of that blue jamming on the red at all.
Yeah, I totally agree. You definitely want to hit the outside of that blue and not the inside.
But this is the last rock for David Hernandez, Team Hernandez from Hollywood Curling. And looking to pop out that blue, maybe stick the shooter for 3. Let's try to hit. Oh,
and that
not bad though.
They tap the inside, but it doesn't wreck at all. So they get the 2. Unfortunately, they miss the 3, but they will go up now 6-5.
So back and forth we go. I'm getting a little dizzy from all this back and forth scoring, so I might take a pause, and we'll be right back in just a moment when we come back to the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns.
When he gets aroused,
All right, we're back to the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns, brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. This is your host Ryan, joined again with Ryan Tanner of Team Pomeroy. And so, are you going to school right now?
No, currently I'm not. I'm working. Just trying to figure out what's next for me.
Okay.
I'm looking at school, but yeah.
Are you looking for schools that are close to curling clubs?
Kind of actually. I've been considering it. I haven't found any good for me that would be close to curling clubs, but I want to stick close to curling. I enjoy it a lot.
I know that was a requirement of some of the top curlers in our region, where I think one person was happy to go to Arizona State because Coyotes curling is nearby in Tempe, the same city as Arizona State. And then for graduate school, they were looking at like schools in the California Bay Area because of San Francisco Bay Area curling. So it could be an interesting wrinkle to add to to what you're looking for in schools.
Yeah.
And some schools have curling teams too.
Yeah, one of the schools that's kind of surprised me the most is Penn State's curling team. They've been very impressive as I've watched, at least of what I've seen from them.
And of course, there's a college national championship too.
Yeah. It's going to be right in the house.
It
Sorry.
No, it's great. It used to be, I pushed the wrong button. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're controlling the broadcast with my iPad. And I pushed the wrong button, so like the video feeds were synced to the same monitor, the same channel, and it's like I wanted to see more than one channel.
Nice line right there.
Yeah, we have 4 cameras on the ice. We can bring in other cameras as needed with technology. But 4 seems to be a really good number, especially as I'm controlling the broadcast and helping to commentate.
I'm going to just sneak by and try to hide under their... I bet you can hear some of the warm room attendees as they get excited for the game on Sheet B. It was really close end, a lot of rocks in the house.
Mm-hmm. We haven't had a measurement so far in this event.
We've gotten close to a couple, but never actually had to use them yet.
And we've only had a couple games actually go full 8 ends. I think only in the past draw or 2 we've had full 8 end games. As we see Tim Mendoza's rock clips one of the Frey Blues out of the house. The shooter's also going to roll out of play.
Hot 2 on that thing.
So it looks like Frey is going to take on the hit and roll. That yawn is just because it's been a long day, not because of the quality of this game. As we see Bob get sets for, I think, his first. Might be a second. I think it's his second. No, it's his first.
Yeah.
Counting rocks is kind of tricky too sometimes.
And this is gonna curl a lot and just. Oh, does that stay as a biter? Oh, it's hard to tell. I can't really see it from the monitors up ahead. But it's gonna stay really close to the house. I thought that was gonna roll out a bit more.
Looks like it nibbles. From this view, you can't tell. As Tim gets ready to throw, I think looking for a draw. I should time this because I do time rocks from time to time. No pun intended. So looking to draw. This is curling up a bit.
It's gonna be really tight, but I think they can get it.
14-1, so it's a bit heavy. And it looks like it's going to settle into the back 8-foot area.
They are going to sit behind that stone almost perfectly.
And the speed of the ice seems to have slowed a little bit tonight. Because I was timing about 1440 for T-line weight. As Bob gets set for his last here in the 6th end of a possible 8s. And this rock is looking pretty good, actually. I think they were maybe hoping for another rock or two of curl because it is exposed. Hernandez can get to it. So right now it's Frey sitting 1 and 3, maybe 3, and Hernandez sitting second stone. But the next rock coming from Paul Mendoza is going to move some stuff around, I believe.
Rocks are artificially cold. They're on mats. And so I think it takes at least a week for the rocks to get properly cold.
So needs to get back. It looks like it's curling up okay.
Yeah. Heavy sweeping, trying to get it back, and it's just not coming back enough for what they want.
They're finished right there, but it just pushes it back slightly.
Yeah, and they're gonna push.
Frey.
Yeah, they're gonna push Frey's stone right into, Hernandez's stone. Wait, yes. Sorry, I'm a little confused right now.
Blue, Hernandez is red.
Okay, yes. They're going to push Frey's stone right in front of theirs, which probably not what you're looking for.
And so now Frey is going to try to do a hit and a small roll. As looks like he's going to be asking Ryan Country Breakfast Fox to serve it up, sunny side.
Seems a little late for breakfast, but
it's always time for breakfast. So this is hanging out. Needs to curl like another couple inches.
Just a little bit, and
okay, so actually curled up a little too much.
They'll get the roll, but it'll roll a little too far.
They were looking for about a rock of roll, and they ended up getting about 3 or 4 rocks of roll.
So now Hernandez is going to try the roll from the other side.
And a possible double. Although I don't think the double's there. Even though my catchphrase is always, the double is there.
Good night, everybody.
As we see Paul Mendoza.
Yeah.
Good night. So we had a pretty full warm room after the last draw, but people are slowly heading home. We have a full slate of games tomorrow, and I hope you'll tune in for it. As interesting.
They knocked their own out. Yeah.
Yeah. Hit the. Let's see the replay, because we have replay.
So now
People are slowly heading home. We have a full slate of games tomorrow, and I hope you'll tune in for it. As interesting.
They knocked their own out.
So it looks like they ran the blue back into the pile, and then the shooter kind of rolled away. So that's, or they maybe definitely swung the situation in favor of Team Frey, and it looks like Frey's going to try and put up a center guard to kind of close down the pass to the button.
Yeah, guard that up. Try to prevent any runbacks or freezes to those stones right there.
And it just crashes. It wicks off of the center guard.
And that's actually really decent. It's just enough space that it's too risky to go for it and still inside the house.
So right now, Frey is sitting 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5. And Hernandez is sitting third shot over on the left side from this view. Hernandez dropped his gripper, had to stop down to pick it up.
Looks like they're just going to try to draw around and just sit right, or maybe just a little off to the side of those stones from Frey.
So David Hernandez is going to throw his first without the hammer here in the sixth end. It looks like it may have floated out just a smidge.
Yeah, that side of the ice, I noticed, like in our game, it loves to just float out and stay out there. Not a whole lot of curl back from that side.
It is going to make contact with one of the blues,
but not what they were looking for.
It actually pushes that blue even further under the center cover. And so now Frey, I think, is just going to look to maybe close the door on that right side and make Hernandez really have a hard time getting into score at all here. So again, looking to create opportunities. It looks like Frey has created an excellent opportunity here in this sixth end. Looking for a draw. This is going to be another time it with my stopwatch situation. This is how I amuse myself. Just randomly time stuff. Not randomly. I'm obviously timing the game. It's not like I'm timing, how long stoplights are yet. This is Mike Frey's last.
The ZAM starts at 5:15.
First.
Is this first?
Yeah, this is first.
Goodness, okay.
That's still first then playing.
Yeah, and then 7 or 8 hours. We're already like at 6:02.
And they're really trying to get there, get to that red.
I think I got about 14-8. Bodies were in the way. Didn't curl back again. So again, that right side is kind of tricking both teams here. And so now Hernandez has a draw path with his last to maybe draw in and sit right on top of the Frey stones that are behind the tee line.
He's got a good draw path. He's got a possible hit and roll. There's some really good options for him here.
The app crashes sometimes. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
This streaming software it's a really excellent package. It's just they stopped developing it a while ago, so there's some bugs that were not fixed. Also, I think at some point over the weekend I need to change the streaming settings, which is not going to affect our viewers. This is really close. Is it around the guard? It
he's going to make contact.
Ooh! Got some pinball action. And it ended up in a pretty good place. It crashed on one of the guards, but then it rolled over to another blue stone and kind of carried back towards the center.
And with that, they have drawn Frey only down to 1. So Frey's going to have to either take that out or go for 2. And me personally, I want to take that out. That would bug me too much. But you got those 2 back there, and if you hit that at the wrong angle, that can crash and not be pretty.
Okay, some of the stutter is that people are standing in front of the streaming hub, which is line of sight. And if I had another tripod to really boost it up to like about 8 feet, that would be better. But I don't have an 8-foot tripod on me.
I'd like to do it at Sunday league because I know we don't have time for Tuesday.
It looks like
And now they're calling for a timeout. So they're going to have to deliberate on this. And
They're going to think about it.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can hear what they're talking about. I always do this, and let's listen in.
Close enough.
First one, go ahead. Second one,
Second one wave was good. The wave was perfect.
middle inside of the bus that hit the first one. But still ended up with a good result. So.
Wait inside. Yeah, they just barely missed the inside. It hangs on this side.
We were a little tight before, we were only a little under 12, so we were less than 4 period. And now we're at just under 9, 4.5 minutes. Don't want to waste time, we have plenty of time.
As they went into that timeout, I got a good look at Sheet B. The score is currently 4-8 in favor of, in favor of Chen. So that might be done pretty soon, depending on how things go on this end.
Last rock for Team Frey, looking to try and pick out that red. Let's see if I can get a look at it. Oh, it jams it back on the pile. That was the worst case scenario. But just a steal of 1.
And if you're Hernandez, if you're Hernandez, that's probably the best case scenario after the way that end played out.
Yeah.
Holding them to 1 is
Getting a steal of 1.
or getting. Oh, they stole 1.
Hernandez stole 1, yeah.
Oh, Frey had it for so long, I didn't notice that they stole 1.
Yeah. Because they were hoping to pick out the Hernandez red, and so they threw takeout weight, but then the Hernandez red jammed on the blues in the back, got the blues in the back moving to the point where the Hernandez red was the only stone in the center of the ring.
And that would have been the one thing that if I were in that scenario, that would have been the one thing that would have worried me about trying to go for that.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's why they called the timeout.
That red, yeah.
Just unfortunate it didn't work out for Frey.
So now we will go into the 7th. Hernandez up 2, with Frey having the hammer.
As we see Hernandez's lead, Ken Detloff throw the rock down the way. And this is going to be going to slip into the rings, which may not be well, for Hernandez, it's probably not the worst outcome.
And we're just going to see Frey try to draw around it, I assume.
Looks like maybe put up a corner guard. As Sean Johnson gets set to throw his first.
Given the option to rethrow.
And trying to see where this rock is going to end up.
It's going to be light, and it might wreck on the guard that's barely in the house. I can't really tell from here, all the bodies. It'll just sit in front of it, so.
Oh, and that red rock was in house, so it wasn't a guard. That blue stone is not on the center line, so the no-tick rule wouldn't apply to it. As Detloff gets set for his seconds. And this rock appears to be another guard. So we got 2 guards, one from each team, both around the center. So Frey is looking to draw around those center guards, and hopefully, I guess, be shot after this. Looks like one game is coming off the ice. We'll update the score when we find out what it could be.
Looks like it was a final of 8-5 favor of Chen after 6 ends. And that stone looks like it's going to curl a little too much and just sit in front of those guards, and that is a centerline guard, but this is the 5th rock, so it's not going to do much anyways.
They wanted it deeper.
And Hernandez is going to call the same thing.
Just try and follow the same line, just a little bit more weight for Tim Mendoza. And let's see where this is going to end up.
Looks like it's going to be super close. Yeah.
It crashes on the guard.
That was so close, and they almost had it, and that would have been sitting real pretty. They were able to just barely miss that.
So looking for... I think they're looking for a hit and roll. Looks like he called for bumper weight, perhaps.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they're gonna call for a hit and roll here.
But hopefully hit on the inside and roll under.
They're working furiously to hold that line. Oh.
Looks like they're going to do the hit, and they got a slight roll. It was good for that they fought to hold the line.
Yeah.
Because if they let it curl another inch or two, it would have been pretty close to a nose hit. So now it is Frey sitting shots, but it's pretty open, and Hernandez is going to ask Tim Mendoza to take it out.
They're going to come in again. So it looks like it's been a back and forth with that side of the sheet in particular.
This is hanging out. This could be a bit of a miss.
And that's just going to flash.
So now Frey has an opportunity to open up for him down 2 late in this game, the 7th end of a possible 8 ends. So it looks like they're going to try the draw again with Bob Kunstel. Looking for a draw. I think a little bit more weight. I think maybe to try and kick that blue under the center guards.
Yeah.
But
And this time they're sweeping to help it curl.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to get real close. And they're going to push that one right under those guards. And that is really well guarded, almost right on the button. You'll love to see that as a skip.
Now, where the blue shooter ended up means that Hernandez could try to do an angle run back onto that blue shot stone on the back button, and maybe try to double them both out.
Yeah, the double's there.
And Paul Mendoza gets set.
With how close that line is, it looks like they're calling for a takeout.
Looks like a normal takeout waits with that positive release from Paul.
And they're holding it.
Could be in the pile. Ooh, a little bit of a hit and roll. So got one of the blues out, and the shooter sticks around to be second shots.
And that sort of opens things up to draw around now for Frey.
Mm-hmm. But again, really, really banking on that curl, that finish, to get around all those center guards.
Yeah, you really need that, and I don't know if I've seen a whole lot of it. I've seen some of it, but I don't know if I've seen enough for the guards to actually do their job.
They need at least 3.5 feet of curl to get at least under the outer center guards. As Ryan Fox throws his first.
It was very confusing. You are adding to so like if it was
This is oh wow! I wonder if it picks.
Yeah, definitely looks like it picked. That fell hard.
Yeah. Can't quite see what happened, but unfortunately that because it picked, it is a miss for Frey. It gives Hernandez a chance to kind of draw around the clutter himself, and that is a hoarder's clutch of rocks there. As Paul Mendoza gets set. Looking for a draw. Getting around all those center guards. I think they want to be able to park it right on top of the button in front of that Frey rock.
Now they're sweeping heavy. It looks like it's a little light and
wasn't a bad line. It was a little wide.
Yeah.
And obviously it was about six feet short.
Sort of guards up that side a little bit better and makes it harder for Frey to draw in. So, not the worst case scenario.
Well, it looks like Frey wants to basically throw up a stone in the top 12 foot on the right side, maybe just to block the draw path. Not necessarily an aggressive shot call, I think. So this rock is coming down. This is us. They only want top of the 12 foot, so this is gonna be close.
Yeah, this is gonna be real close, and looks like it's. Oh, and they get it fully into the 8 foot.
Yep.
So now it's sort of. I mean, there's a possible draw there, but that makes it difficult because you're definitely going to hit that blue.
Well, it looks like Hernandez is going to throw heat at this hit and roll, maybe do the double.
Definitely want to go into the final end with hammer and up 1.
So here we are, 2 skip stones here in the 7th end. And looks like it might have been out a little wide if I were to guess. Actually, no, I'm wrong. It looks really close.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing, and oh, such a wonderful roll. So now, if you're Frey, what do you do here?
I'm sort of at a loss.
Yeah, this would be a very tough situation to try to play with.
They just need to bite the forefoot to get a second point at this point right now.
There's the possibility of drawing around from the left side, but ice hasn't been curling back a whole lot, and you haven't been playing with that most of this end, so you don't know exactly what it's going to do. It looks like that's what they're going to call, is drawing from the left side.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, they haven't been down this path for quite some time. So it remains to be seen if it's dialed in. Looks like he's got good weight for like a less frequently traveled path. And they're shooting to hold the line.
Oh, it's gonna come close to that red. Biggest issue right now is weight. That's just too heavy.
It was too heavy. It was a good line.
Really good line. It's just weight ruined it. And so now, if I'm Hernandez, after watching that, I would try to guard that left side.
Well, they could, or they could be aggressive and try and raise their red toward the button. And that seems to be what they're doing.
Yeah, it does look like that.
So David makes his way back to the hack. And looking for that, I think I mean, it's a pretty aggressive play. I mean, the guard would have closed the door and, you know, really forced Frey to almost settle for one. But this is the last round coming for Hernandez. Or coming from Hernandez. This looks pretty close. Needs to come back though.
Yeah, it needs to definitely come back. It's going to be close for sure. And that is also just going to be a little too heavy.
So Frey is probably going to try the same shot he just threw.
Try to tie it up and go into the 8th end without hammer, but having it tied makes it a lot easier to manage everything.
Yeah, being down 1 is okay. Being down 2 makes it a lot harder. Like if you're down 1 or tied, you're basically in a situation where you have to steal anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're down 2 without, you're really, really behind the 8 ball. As the last rock is coming from Mike Frey.
And that is
still heavy.
Yeah, that's looking like it might be a little too heavy.
And it's just going to be a score of 1 there.
So we go into the 8th, 6-7, really close. Hernandez has the hammer for this, and I mean, you really just want to keep everything open at this point. If you're Hernandez, you're up 1, you have hammer, just keep it open and play well. And if you're Frey, bunch of guards.
A jump game.
You want a bunch of guards, keep everything guarded up, and have that nice, or have that super cluttered. Mm-hmm. But this should be an interesting finish.
We'll find out in just a moment when we come back to the 2024 MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns, brought to you by DoubleTakeout.com. right, we're back to the last end of tonight's contest between Team Frey of Wine Country Curling. I just want to make sure you get the clubs correct. And Team Hernandez of Hollywood. It's been a pretty hard-fought battle between both teams. But Hernandez was able to jump into the lead after the 5th end and has held on since then. Holding a 1-point lead over Team Frey. And Team Frey needs to steal to force a tie. If they're tied after 8, they play an extra end. I would say teams have been discouraged from playing an extra end at midnight, but I don't think that's the case. I think we want to see a fair resolution to this contest, even if we do have to play the extra end. But 1 to tie, 2 to win. Hernandez just needs to basically either blank or score a single to secure the win. And it looks like we have a guard and a rock that's biting the top of the house, and so Hernandez is going to go after that biter.
Yeah, just keeping everything open, keeping everything simple. Have hammer, you don't want to clutter things up and possibly ruin that.
Looks like they're going to make contact on that. Ooh, we have a bit of a spill there. He was trying to go after the rock, it appears.
So that'll take both stones out of play, and I would expect to see just another guard up near, probably in the 3rd or in the 3 range, but
you can see the clocks in the background on the left side of the screen. Both teams have a decent amount of time. Frey has over 3.5 minutes, and that should be enough to play an end. And Hernandez has over 5 minutes, which is plenty of time.
And that's really good time when you get into the 8th end like this. Gives you plenty of thinking time, and you don't have to worry about running out.
So looking to draw around that corner guard, and that looks like a really great draw there. Yeah, it's about 60% open, maybe more.
And Hernandez says, let's take it out.
To quote one of our leading luminaries of our time, sheet on. Well, that's hopefully what he'll say in about 20 seconds. Looking for a takeout from Tim Mendoza.
Little inside, and that's curling hard. And that's going to wreck on the guard. Despite their best efforts to keep that as straight as possible, that just started swerving to the left, and they couldn't pull it back.
So now Frey wants to, I think, put the guard back up. If he's able to wrap it around that red rock and create some offset center guards, that would be probably the best outcome. As we see Bob's stone come down the way. Needs to come back, and I don't know if it will.
That's...
Settles in the top 12 foot, the full 12 foot. It does set up a possible double.
Possible double, yeah. They're going to want to... The double is there. I heard, I think it was one of the timekeepers say the double is there.
Sounded like Jacob.
I did, yeah. So there's the stone. And they're going to need that to curl back, and it's slow. I thought it was coming back. It doesn't look like it as much. And it splits the uprights and just goes straight between them.
So in football, that's 3 points, but in curling, that is
that's nothing.
that's nothing.
It's disappointment is what it is.
So now Frey has another chance to put up a center guard. Just again, really junk things up.
Yeah, and this is where they can get away with, or start pulling away with their strategy.
Hernandez needs a blank or a single to lock down the win.
And that's gonna. Oh, that crash might have helped out a little bit. As it hovers. Or over, well, I don't know.
It opens up one of the blues, but the other, the second blue is protected now. So again, looking for places to hide. I think it does still work out in Frey's favor. As Hernandez is going to ask for, I believe this is Paul's shot. Yes, Paul is getting set in the hat. So looking for a hit. Do you think there should be any roll there?
Yeah, I mean, there could be a possible double with those two sitting right in front of each other. And just anything to get out of the house. You want to take something out of the way and take it out of play.
And they're going for the open rock, or the more open rock, it looks like. But it needs to come back.
And that's good, but it's going to roll, and that will be swept out, or almost swept out.
Looks like it spun back at the last moment.
And maybe a biter.
Yeah.
But good sweeping by Frey. So now
Frey's going to try and draw around that red guard.
And again, this side of the sheet, this is where you got to be careful because it doesn't curl back as much. So you could end up with a guard in front of those two stones as well.
Mm-hmm. So the sweepers were called off. And looks like this is going to go a little deep.
And that's...
Oh, I hit the brakes at the very last minute. Doesn't curl enough, though. I think it's pretty open. And it's kind of like where that blue stone was before.
Yeah, it is. It's sitting under that red, but there's so much space in between them that it wouldn't be that hard to hit it.
So it looks like Paul Mendoza is going to be asked to try to do the same type of shot that he just threw, hoping for an identical result, or maybe slightly better. So this one looks like it curled early, and
this one
looks like it's going to crash on the guard.
Yeah.
And the shooter's going to roll to the right, to the wing, pretty much covering nothing on that right side.
Yep.
So, again, it looks like Frey, not having the hammer, is holding a pretty substantial advantage in terms of just having rocks in scoring position. And
yeah.
Again, 1 to tie, 2 to win.
This is definitely the way you want to play it if you're down without hammer.
So looking probably for a guard. I don't think they want it to be close to the house or even in the house because you don't want to create an easy run back double.
Yeah, you want it to be outside the house, and yeah, not much else for me to give there.
Mm-hmm. So this is Mike Frey's first without the hammer here in the 8th end. 1 to tie, 2 to win. And this is... he went to the right side looking to tap that pile of blues back a little bit more. But now it looks like they set up a possible double.
Yeah, and the double's there. And the double actually, there's been a couple cases where I see a possible double and I don't think it's reasonable, but this one looks like it could be a good possibility.
Yeah. Well, especially knowing the situation that Hernandez is facing.
So the first of two for Hernandez coming up. And yeah.
I don't know if they're setting up for the double. Looks like they might be just trying to hit the blue shot stone and then roll under that pile of blues, which is the title of my blues album coming out later this fall. Pile of Blues. This is David Hernandez's first. So I think just looking to hit the blue shot stone, maybe roll back.
Now they got to hold for line, and it's over curled just a bit and nosed it. So now they do sit shot, but Frey also has a really good opportunity to take that red out and even roll under their blues.
Yep. And then Hernandez is going to have a draw for one to secure the win. So really, I think without having the hammer, Frey really played it pretty well. But for Hernandez, there's still an opening for him to secure the win.
Yeah.
But I think it all starts with being able to manage this hit and roll properly. I mean, honestly, you don't even need to stick around, really. You could probably hit and roll out and kind of really force Hernandez just to try and draw the button.
Yeah. You are sitting the two if you roll out, so. So, shots coming in. Looks like it's over curling.
Needs to make some contact. It does.
And it makes contact.
The shooter's going to roll to the back.
And so, here we go. Open draw for Hernandez. And as easy as that sounds, our game earlier this evening proves that it is not.
One's a tie, two to win. That red on the back left, I don't think is out counting that top blue.
No, it is not. So right now, Frey does have the two, but all Hernandez needs is this simple draw.
One to tie, two to win. To David Hernandez with his last, with the hammer here in the 8th.
There's the release.
Just needs to basically bite the forefoot to secure the win. This is a carrying. Needs to sit down. Is it going to sit down?
It might be too much.
The sweepers jump on it.
And it's going to be...
Oh my goodness gracious. It is so close.
They moved the stones, but it looks like we're going into overtime. Oh boy, that was not what I was expecting.
Yay.
Yay. The crew's been here all day. They have to come in at 6 tomorrow, and what does Hernandez do? Takes it into overtime.
Well, Frey took it into overtime too because Frey set up the...
That's true. Frey did set up the shots.
So, this is the first extra end game that we've seen, and it comes at the start of a new day. It's officially midnight.
It is officially midnight.
Here in America's West Coast.
Oh.
And, I'm going to update the scoreboard. Yay.
After going down 4-0 in the first two ends, Frey is able to come back and tie the game. And we are now in an overtime late night thriller.
MoPac After Dark, y'all.
Oh, this will be good.
One of the people in the warm room says that the triple was there, and I didn't see a triple there. But
That's my teammate Jacob Almaraz, or Almaraz? Almers. I cannot speak.
well, I've been getting it wrong, so I'll work on that. So,
So here we go. Overtime.
bonus curling. You can't pay for this even if you wanted to.
This gives us a lot of good footage for tomorrow.
Are you playing them tomorrow?
I believe we play both teams tomorrow.
Yes, you play Frey in the late game, and then you play Hernandez at 11:40.
Yeah.
The midday draw. So we're tied up. So next team to score wins. If no one scores after this end, we do a draw shot, and we call it good.
Yeah.
We pack up the cameras and go home.
I can almost guarantee right now that they are feeling the pressure. Both teams feeling that pressure. Both teams having chances to win and not getting it, and this is it.
We're talking about how they make Hershey's chocolate in the warm room right now.
It's that late.
Well, they were also talking about adult audiobooks earlier, so I guess this is an improvement.
I walked in on a little bit of that. I was a little confused as to what was going on.
But that's one of the joys of the warm room is the freewheeling conversation.
So now it looks like Hernandez wants to draw behind that blue.
They
That's
have two corner guards on the right for Frey, but it looks like Hernandez wants to beat Frey to the punch. This is starting to set up like the last end.
Yeah, it kind of is. And whoa, that looked like it picked something at last second.
It just swung, yeah.
Yeah. It swung super fast and super heavy. Oh.
So it looks like teams are given about 4.5 minutes of extra time on their thinking time clock, which is fair. As we see Bob's first rock, I believe, head down the ice.
And that's going to... it's going to hit that stone. Or where was that?
Let's see here. I think they're talking about whether it's a 5 rock violation. 1, 2, 3,
Probably.
4, 5. That was the 5th rock to the end. So that was a 5 rock rule violation.
It looks like they will be putting that guard back.
And then Frey will lose the shooter. Not a bad reset, although it does give Hernandez some of the advantage will shift towards him.
as they discuss where exactly the stone was.
And all the rocks that were hit. We're also pondering the mysteries of life, apparently, in the warm room after midnight.
Why we have been subjected to such late night curling.
Oh, that's how bad
So it looks like Hernandez wants to take out the blue stone that's hanging out on the right side. Asking Team Mendoza to do the honors.
And it's on point.
Shooter's going to roll wide to the right, but stick around for a second shot.
Yep. And I feel... Oh, Frey is going to... I assume he's going to try to draw in. Either that or he's taking out that...
He set it for a takeout.
Oh, did he? He called for
no,
takeout?
just where the broom is positioned. Typically,
Oh, yeah.
Typically, if
That's-
you're doing a draw, you put the broom on the tee line. If you're doing a takeout, you want to put the broom next to the rocks you want to hit.
Looking from behind it is a whole different situation than when you look at it from in front of you.
That's fair, but also you've been staring at rocks all day.
Yeah.
Trying to get one of the reds out of the way. It's going to be...
That'll be the shot. Well,
Looks to be shot.
looks like it's shot, yeah.
But it's,
Yeah.
it's pretty open, so I think Hernandez is just going to pick that out.
Play the replacing game.
As we see Tim throw his last. And we'll pluck out that blue, and we'll roll towards, the shooter will roll towards the right. And so it is now Hernandez sitting 2.
Yeah. The camera's a little shaky.
Well, when people walk on the boards,
Yeah.
it jostles the camera. I might need a hot cup of tea after this. Or some hot cocoa. We have hot cocoa here, so.
That sounds really nice right now.
Oh man, I could go for a cup of right now. So I think they're trying to draw around any cover to try and sit shots. As Ryan Fox throws his first, but it's going to crash on the guard. And the shooter, I said I would sweep it, but I don't think it needed to be swept.
No. And that's, I mean, it opens things up a bit more. But it looks like Hernandez is going to want to sit just outside of the 12-foot right in that area.
Mm-hmm. Or they just put up a lot of rocks to block off all the paths to the house. Well, okay. You want to keep it open house. You want to keep it open house, so. Everyone's a little bit punch drunk, as it were, as Paul Mendoza delivers his first, looking to draw around.
It's that point of the night where everything is just funny.
Loopy.
And
Loopy is another phrase, yes.
Loopy's a good word for it. And that's curling in. It looks like they're gonna
Looks like they
bump
split
their
the
red
stones,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
They split one of the reds into the house further. The shooter rolls to that pile on the right. So there's definitely some places for Frey to hide.
Yeah. Looks like he's gonna try to draw rounds near that red and blue stone right there.
Yes, with Fox's last. little bit of a wobble. Good recovery though. Ideally, this shot will be buried under one of the guards.
That's curling. Just
that finish is really, I think, the most
wow.
important part.
Yeah, they get it under there. And that is actually looking pretty good for Frey.
Looks like maybe up to 40% exposed. Definitely enough for Hernandez to try to take it on.
And that's what he's definitely going to try to do here.
With Paul's last. This could be a little wide. And they're trying to push it over.
They're sweeping hard
it's
for that
going
curl.
to
And
just kiss it, and it's enough to get that blue moving through the house. Wow, that was a great sweep there for Team Hernandez.
So now it comes down to the skips. Final 4 stones. A lot can happen here.
One team leaves, and then the other team leaves shortly afterwards. Because we have at least, all these teams have at least 1 or 2 more teams tomorrow. And we have 5 broadcasts tomorrow. If I don't go beaky bonkers by tomorrow night.
And then there are the playoff games and championship game on Sunday.
Yes, indeed. All these games will be on YouTube. I don't know if I'll be on YouTube, but the games will be. As Mike Frey gets set with his first, looking to draw around that corner guard again. Hoping for a little bit more curl. This is finishing pretty hard.
Yeah, it is. Just trying to get that last little bit as much as they can out of it.
And it's in a pretty similar position compared to the last bluestone. But I think this one's even a little bit more open than the last one.
Yeah, this one is definitely more exposed. And they're just going to call the same shot, try to pick that one out. Frey sits 1, but if they pick that out, Hernandez sits 4, and so...
Well, and also in this situation, Frey needs to be sitting shot after his last rock, or it's game over.
Yeah.
This looks pretty close.
Line is looking good. Sweeping for curl. And
they're coaching it over, and it's enough for the bluestone to go out of play, and the shooter does as well. So this we're coming down to the last 2 stones. Frey needs to be shots after this, or it's game over.
Yeah, and it's not a fun situation to be in because that's wide open right there. So if you go right on center, then you're wide open for a takeout. And if you go behind, they're wide open for a draw. So risky business.
This is for a chance to win, needs to be shot.
And
so the line is pretty good.
Yeah.
Just need to make sure it gets buried. Also needs to be sure it's deep enough. It will be deep enough. It's carrying. So is it going to sit down? It does sit down.
It does sit.
It is partly exposed again. I'd say
is
about 20% exposed.
Yeah, that's a lot of open room. Personally, I think I'd just try to call for the draw. You have it wide open, you just get the one shot and you win, but I think I saw Hack wait for possibly picking out that blue.
Based on where the broom is, yeah, looking for it looks to be half weight.
Oh,
So this is going to be for all the marbles. Frey is sitting shot. Hernandez needs to out count that Frey blue. And here we go. Last rock at the extra end.
and here we go. A lot of sweeping.
Oh no, it's
And
on the
they
guard.
are going to wreck on the guard. And so Frey comes back with it.
Secures the win.
As I said, going down 4-0 in 2 ends and coming back to win 8-7 in a thriller here late night in Tahoe, or in
State Line, Nevada.
State Line, Nevada, right next to Tahoe.
A comeback for the ages.
Yeah.
You will tell your children of this day, of this feast.
Of all the games to go into extra ends, of course it had to be the last one of the night.
But what a great way to end our first day of the MoPac Men's Arena Playdowns. Brought to you by doubletakeout.com.
Lots of more fun coming in for tomorrow.
Yeah, just a quick reminder, tomorrow's action starts at 8:30 or so. We have another quintuple header on tap. So 8:30, 11:45, 3, 6:30, 9:45. And your team, Ryan, is going to be at 11:45. And
Yes, yeah.
And also looking at 9:45.
Yeah, we're going to be middle of the pack for the first game, and then very last game tomorrow night. Hopefully it does not end up the same way where we have to go to extra ends, but thank you so much for letting me join you. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So for Ryan, myself, all of us here at MoPac, Lake Tahoe, Epic Curling, and doubletakeout.com, good night and good curling. We'll see you tomorrow morning, bright-eyed and maybe bushy-tailed. See you then.